It up, blackness aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention. Education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benskop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune and on the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the...
Yeah, this is the elite team. Yeah, this is the elite team. The root team.
Are you confident that you're going to deliver credible and fair elections?
Of course. Only one way I know, and that is the correct way.
Think about not eating chicken curry. Think about the police gonna come and you gotta hide your curry. You don't want those days back. We are voting for
Mr. Mark, I believe every word of what Mr. Shu is saying. I am also afraid of Mr. Shu. Mr. Shu, if you are listening, I don't want anybody to harm you. This is a serious thing. Corruption is big. And we Chinese have to stop that. Been bullied by Jack Dale and other government official to pay bribe.
Guyana really nice. Guyana. It's a nice place. name is Jasmine Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more.
Hello, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
Yeah, my name is Jasmine Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to people.
Yeah, this is the elite team. The root team. Strong team.
Number one.
PPP team. Yeah. Yeah, Sam. PPP all the way. Yeah, one Guyana. Yeah.
Guyana really nice. Guyana. It's a nice place.
These people have no conscience. No conscience they don't have. None. Go.
All right, hey, guess what? 11 minutes after 9 o'clock, a late start for us. Well, you know, we were on for about 3 hours earlier today, and we are back here again, running late. You know, it's not like us to be late, and I must apologize to all of our listeners. Thank you so much for those who have already joined us and those who are in the process of sharing the link, and thank you for those who have already shared the link. Good evening to all of you. Coming up in just a few minutes, Nigel London, Apostle Nigel London, no stranger to you guys. Well, he shouldn't be any stranger. He's in the streets. I don't know whether he sleeps or not, but he is in the streets doing this type of job we expect those who have been elected to do and those who are being paid to do. It is apparent that the non-paid political guys are doing most of the job for those who are being paid to do this job. They just do not, most of them do not do it. They sit comfortably in their air-conditioned office, maybe their air-conditioned vehicles, or maybe, their second job. And their second job is more important than their job to represent the people. And when we try to bring that to their attention, to hold them accountable, they get upset, they get vexed, their bumps raise. And talking about those in the opposition, those MPs in the opposition, their bumps raise as well. But remember, there are a few who do some hard work, and we know who those few members are, and non-members as well. And we salute them, those who are sincere about this struggle. We salute them. And that's all I wish to say right now in the opening. You guys should see a bit of a smile, a slight smile on my face. All right. Good evening to all of you. Tomorrow, we are seeing here, Blinken, use your Blinken voice. Blinken, use your voice. Blinken, use your voice. Blinken, use your voice. That's what a lot of people are saying. And tomorrow they will be doing just that. They will remind Blinken that he should use his voice. He should use his voice. Blinken should use his voice. I don't know. I'm seeing somebody saying, "Congratulations, Ryan." Out of the blue, just like that. Don't we all just love our I'm not fan. You guys, we are all part of the same village, right? So yeah, sorry about that. So tomorrow, the U.S. Secretary of State, sorry about that, a little bit distracted at this end. I'm trying to get something confirmed. And in doing so, I was a bit distracted. And that's why you guys aren't seeing my face, at least for now. We're seeing protect our girls. We've got to. Guys, let's focus on the subject matter here tonight. Appreciate it. We have got to stand up. Majority of the Guyanese people stand up and protect your interest, the girls. We can't just expect Blinken to jump into Guyana and do the job from what majority of the people should be doing. Come out in your numbers and stand up and protect our girls. Not only that we have to protect our girls, we have to protect our little boys also. Our little boys, a lot of them are being abused as well. Lots of them are being abused. Just like they got some big men abusing little girls, they have some big men abusing little boys as well, right? Little boys. They're into that. And so we've got to protect our little boys, and we've got to protect our little girls as well. And so tomorrow, all of our little girls have to be protected, whether it is our indigenous little girls, whether it is our African little girls, whether it is our Indian little girls. All little girls have to be protected. And now we have a trench crapo alert. Trench crapo alert. These trench crappos, they have no shame. They're disgraceful to the nation. Now, look at what we have here. Somebody who calls himself a Swami. Probably a corrupt Swami who is probably into little boys or maybe little girls. Hear what this so-called Swami is saying here now. Look at his name, Swami Yogesh Varanand. Swami Yogesh Varanand, probably one of those fraudsters. Fraudster. Probably love to interfere with little boys or little girls. This is what these guys do. These guys have no sense. A bunch of nincompoops. Just like that, out of the blue. Here what this Swami. I'm probably sure this Swami is probably Kwame, right? They're making no sense. Stop your nonsense, false narrative. And here is when you ask them, what do you mean nonsense? What do you mean false narrative? Can you explain? They can't explain. They can't go further. They just can't do it at all. They just cannot do it at all. And look, he or she comes by. This is what it probably Kwame, the orangutans, the garbage fetchers within the PPP. And look, the Swami Yogeshwar not. could hardly probably spell and read and write. And this is what the Swami is saying. Nobody believes you. They know you are lying. You know, I love to make fun of these quacks. I really do love to make fun of these quacks, these pakus, these katahar, these korhi, these chamar, these low lives. I love to. Not because I have any gratification of putting people down, but these people have got, sometimes I do, but especially these kind of ignoramus. They don't listen, they don't understand, they just jump off the top of their whatever they jump off the top of. And nobody believes you. They know, and look, oh no, look how easy. They know you are lying. These pakus, they have no shame. Miss Booker, are you guys hearing me loud and clear? These pakus, they have no shame. These pakus, and then she or he comes back again. This is a Swami, you know. Here's how this get caught. This is supposed to be a Swami that's supposed to be running around Swaha. You know, he's probably interfering with a bunch of little boys or little girls, you know, a fraudster. And for all you know, this Swami might very well be, maybe, could be Jagdev, or it could be, for all you know, it could be that guy Muhammad. What's his name? Some Klong Muhammad, whatever Muhammad. Azruddin Muhammad. It could be Irfan Ali. It could be Kwame. A bunch of them. Swah, right? Look, these guys are ridiculous. They have no shame. And so since he got his 15 minutes of fame, guess what, guys? He's gone. He's gone. Swami is no more. Swami is in the trench. Swami is no more. Bye, Swami. 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 Right? Good evening to our legitimate Hindu brothers and sisters out there. Y'all don't allow the Swami to disgrace you guys, embarrass you guys. Don't allow that at all. So we have had that. Let's move on now. Here, guess what? My name is Mark Benchap, and welcome to Straight Up. Some folks are messaging me and ask me while I'm live to share the link. I can't share the link when I'm live. I can't do that. The only thing I can share for the most part when I'm live is information. So do inbox your friends and let them know that we're on. Some folks are messaging me now. Mark, can you please share the link? I can't do that right now. I just can't. I don't know. I noticed that we have a notification that the Apostle London. I'm going to ask Apostle London, what's his middle name? I really don't feel comfortable calling him by his first name. And I say this with all due respect to Apostle London. I don't know what is his middle name. I'm going to ask him what his middle name is, because I just don't. How many of you guys in the audience agree with me? If you don't agree with me, can we all just sleep on it? Let's sleep on it. I don't feel comfortable addressing him as his first name. Good evening to you, Apostle London. How are you, sir?
Good evening to you, and good evening to those who are viewing. As always, it's a delight and a pleasure to sit with you here. I'm beginning to agree with you. I need to change my name. My middle name is Nyambe. No one else in Guyana has that name. Nyambe.
That is not true. That is not true.
Who else is called Nyambe?
I knew a Nyambe in Camp Street.
Really? Could have been me then.
I'm not going to ask you who is barking out in your yard. I think I already have an idea. Is is there fun in Linden tonight, or?
Probably so, because my little friends outside, they normally alert me as to whom is outside in my yard. So,
you know, contrary to what that controversy was around, the people try to peddle that crap about you, that individual. You actually do love dogs.
I do actually.
Yeah.
I have 6 of them. So
we're glad. We're glad. You know, Naomi, it's really nice to see you this evening, and I must apologize for not having the strength to address you as that first name. Maybe I'm just saying strength, but I just don't feel comfortable calling you by your first name. I don't know, for some reason the spirit is getting into me. I don't know what sort of spirit, but it's getting into me.
The problem
Nigel London, Apostle Nigel London is on. Go ahead, sir. Sorry.
So, I was saying to you that my first and last name, I mean London as well. I don't know what to do. I think I'm headed back to my Hebrew roots or something, give myself some other name, because Nigel is in trouble, London was in trouble. I don't know.
Yes, speaking of that, London indeed. Anyways, good evening to you, Apostle Nigel Nayombi London is with us this evening, a busy man, albeit I wanted to start the show all over again. He's appearing with his hot red in the background. Hot red. But I'm glad that elections are over. Apart from all of this, I know you've been very busy, extremely busy, on behalf of a lot of people who can't be out there or who are not brave enough to be out there to confront an oppressive regime, sorry. Before we get into the actual questions that I have for you, let our viewers know, how have you been as a family man, a businessman, and also a patriotic Guyanese? How have you been, sir?
I have been on the side of my family and business. I'm pretty well. However, as one who is deemed the patriotic Guyanese, I am in a period of my life now where I never thought I would be. The pain I feel for this nation, the anguish on a daily basis that I experience at the hands mostly of the few elitists who want to be that, I should say, in the PPP regime, and some of the slothful, lazy, to some extent probably uncaring members of the opposition. It really, at this time in our country, hovers, or is evident that there's hovering over us a cloud of discontentment, a cloud of pain, a cloud of anguish, a cloud of rage on my part and others to see what our nation is becoming. And so most of my time is spent nowadays seeking as much as possible for my children to know that their father is not a weak, frightened man who is unprepared to stand for that which is right and just in our society. Guyana, we are suffering immensely and we must do something about this, hence my public stance.
And we do appreciate and salute you for your public stance. Yesterday, you were out at the Square of the Revolution. A busload of you guys were out there. And you know what? You use up your own money for gas, the transportation, and people just took time out of their busy schedule as well. We just want to salute you guys for all that you're doing there on behalf of many Guyanese who only are talking, but they are afraid to hit the streets. Are you sensing that on the ground in Linden, in Georgetown, wherever you go, that folks, citizens are still afraid to take to the streets, sir, to protest against injustices?
There is an air about it, and I never thought that they would come and I could say that if they're apprehensive or they're scared, all that's unacceptable to me because I don't see a reason to fear anybody. What is worse is that some of them just do not care. And that is leading even to a greater cause of mine to stand for the Mahdia 20, for the girls, for those in Mocha Arcadia, to stand for those in Amelia's ward, who that young man who has had about 2,000 soursop plants just bulldozed because people want to take his land and so on. And so when people are afraid to stand nowadays, I'm beginning to see that it's just an announcement, as I said to you, for Nalim Barjagdio. on many social platforms. The fact that people are not coming out as they would when we're going through was there, it's obvious that you are terrorist in their eyes, and that's not complimentary in any way. However, those who are uncaring, as some would have said, just some buck people cheering. I mean, to even repeat that, quite a few women said that the girl deserved what she got in Darmla's case because what's she doing at the man house? I mean, to
let me cut you there for a moment. You have some beautiful daughters, enterprising, they're entrepreneurs, very intelligent young ladies. How do you feel reading some of these pakus, presumably PPP folks, are saying that the 16-year-old girl deserved what and she wanted what she got? How do you feel as a father?
Can I say that on the okay? I try to present it as good as well as I possibly can. Sure. I've invited quite a few of them to come to say that in my presence, and they're yet to show up. That's all I can say. As much as I want to say, I've invited them to come wherever I am and echo those words, echo those sentiments, especially in the presence of my children, and then they'll understand how I really feel about it. Because it shows me, and it's not presumably they are PPP supporters, because it said further why they're doing this, and they're saying that this is being made political, and of course I'm now being deemed or PNC or whatever it is. At the end of the day, my point is that it is political, and I think we may get into that, but it is. It involves so many political players in Guyana. What it's going to be? It's a matter of how we're governed, and the manner in which we govern lends itself to these asinine idiots saying these kinds of things. And what is most damning is the women who are saying that, mainly women. So it only tells me what they encourage or what they've been encouraged to do, even in the household.
What's the sentiments like, Apostle Nigel London? The sentiments on the ground in Linden as it pertains to this particular case against Nigel Darmlal and what the DPP has done in terms of turned a blind eye in ensuring that there's justice. What's the mood like on the ground?
Thank you. There is extreme outrage here in Linden. I wish that it could be exhibited in a more overt manner. People can all see how Lindeners really feel about this. And I think it's just a matter of time before Lindeners really are galvanized to demonstrate our true feelings and expressions regarding this matter. We're not a people given to accepting this kind of behavior. Lindeners, I'm not saying there's not any other part of the country, but Lindeners are known for defending our children. We are very, very, very aggressive when it comes to people violating, as we call it here, our children. And so even the men are extremely livid. And I must note that quite a few people in Linden are paying attention to those in red who are quiet, because we don't tolerate that. So that those who are likely to suffer immensely in reference to their business and other ventures, and even they're being accepted in this town. And we're not playing with that. If you're a man in Linden and you follow red and you cannot speak, and a woman cannot speak to the defense of this child, Lindeners, I know, are prepared to mark these people and to make a statement to them that they are not even welcome to be around us anymore.
Well said. If you're now joining us, Apostle Nigel London is with us this evening. Nigel takes time out of his busy schedule to be all around, standing up and representing the people of Guyana. All of the people, most of them are afraid to do what Nigel London and a few others are doing, not for the likes, not for a quick selfie and these sort of things, but there's, go ahead, Apostle. You were about to say something?
No, I was just agreeing with what you said. I mean, likes and selfies. I don't understand how people can do this at this time, actually.
Yeah, we all just don't understand. Let me, before I forget that, Apostle London, if you are in Tongue tomorrow, we can't just see you do this by yourself. On behalf of all of us here at 107.1 FM, trust me, I will ensure that you get $10,000 for your gas if you're going to be in Tongue tomorrow. And a couple of cases of water as well, compliments of Benchop Radio 107.1 FM. Because I know what the struggle is like. I've been there on the ground, and I know it's not easy. And so we want to support you as much as we do support others as well. We will support you, because coming all the way from Linden, it's not easy. using up your own resources as well. We heard from the DPP. The DPP said, to hell with everybody. She's not going to advise any charges be laid against Nigel Darmlal for the rape allegations, for rape, brutally raping, based on the allegations, brutally raping that 16-year-old girl. How do you feel, especially when we expect some sort of justice for the little girl, and we look upon these agencies to ensure that they prove to us that the justice system works? How do you feel when you heard that the DPP said no charges at all for Darmlal?
I would have said, or would have been saying for over 2 years, that this woman, Shalimar Ali Haq, Director of Public Prosecution, is a threat to the integrity of our judicial system. She's vested with way too much power, and she doesn't know what to do with it. I think that Natasha Singh Lewis, her sister in faith, said the other day that she's pressured. And that statement should be to any guy, and he's very, very concerning and angering to know that somebody who's sitting in Ali Haq's seat with the authority to say whether a case would go to trial or not in these things, and then she says, I'm pressured, essentially, or she's acting in a manner. It's just ridiculous. And so I would have said to people and to Guyanese, that this Ali Haq lady needs to be removed. This is not the first time she's done this. I remember that a man who was accused of killing his wife, that police sergeant, I think 20 plus years he spent in jail, only to find out that there was absolutely no evidence. And so Ali Haq in this situation has not surprised me. If I've expressed it, I would have been surprised had she said that there was enough evidence to charge Darmlal, because her behavior is consistent nowadays, and I think it's becoming a bit too frequent. This lady is a direct embarrassment to the judicial system and to any Guyanese who's right-thinking. Her decision-making is not only flawed, it is determined apparently by other people. In this matter with Darmlal, it's what we call an open and shut situation. A complaint based on the Sexual Offences Act was leveled against Darmlal. The child involved said he did at least 4 things that warrant or could be labeled a sexual offense. This lady didn't even choose one. She's prepared to say that the complaint is now withdrawn and there's none. But before that, of course, we said she wanted some more. She said she wanted some more, that she wanted more investigations to be done by the police. Ali Haq is a disgrace to Guyana. And that's putting it mildly, because I'm aware of where I'm sitting. But this lady is an absolute disgrace. I would call even on the imams. I've been calling on Muslims who are very, very vocal every so often with my name being called. Now we are called. Come and talk. Because this here represents your faith. Irfan Ali represents your faith. And both of them, in this manner, are behaving in what I consider to be, and what you know very well to be, manners or mannerisms being expressed that are detrimental to the integrity of the Islamic faith in Guyana. So you all better speak quickly.
Well, it is pretty obvious that she's not concerned at all. People are upset. People want her to be removed from office. She is using her office, and this is the perception of majority of Guyanese. She's using her office for personal gratification. And basically, she is a political operative for the PPP, a political tool. This is not about her religion, and sometimes they hide behind these religious organizations, whether it's the Central Islamic Organization, whatever. Her job is to protect the elites. Her job is to protect those vagabonds in the PPP and other places. We have Jay Mahadeo is saying those are not Muslim, thus they are so-called Muslim. And this is what majority of the people are saying, that she is basically a so-called Muslim. And we are not taking time out here to attack any religious person, any religion. That is not our job. But she certainly, and this is not just about religion. This is about politics. She is playing politics. People are of the view that she's corrupt. People believe that she should go. What is your take, Apostle, what is your take on what Irfan Ali said last evening when he announced that Nigel Dharamlal indicated to him that he would resign? Not he, Irfan Ali, taking the position to say, I want you to resign. What is your take on that silly statement from Irfan Ali?
Sure, but before I go to that, let me just clarify what I'm saying. In reference to Irfan Ali and Ali Haq. Ali Haq and Irfan Ali represent the Islamic faith. It's not an attack on the faith, it's an attack on the
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you are, sir.
Please, I just want to be clear because I know people hop here and have all kinds of strange ideas. Her attire speaks to what she believes in, and that's why I'm addressing it.
Sure.
But however, in reference to the matter with what Irfan Ali said, I want to begin with what he did not say. I listened to that broadcast maybe to his, and it was on TikTok. And this TikTok newsroom publication, in this video, Ali said that Dharamlal was asked to resign. Now, this is the second time that I'm seeing Dharamlal proving to us that he is senior to Irfan Ali in the hierarchy of the PPP. Because the behaviors of Dharamlal, where he could tell Irfan Ali what he's doing, and all Irfan Ali does is say, okay, yes, it's accepted, tells me that Ali had no power to cause Dharamlal to resign. Dharamlal essentially saying, I'm going to do this. But I want to address what Ali did not say. Ali didn't say anything about that little girl. Nothing about an indigenous girl who, according to what was published, was saying that she was on her knees begging even for representation. And this man, leading this country at this time, after partying in Canada, sits wherever he is and says that Dharamlal's feelings would be hurt. Dharamlal requested that he should resign. I have never heard anybody having to make a request to resign. I mean, the things that Ali says are unsurprising to me. And I would not be in any way joking when I say that if Ali says things that are intelligent, intellectually apt, I would be shocked. Because in recent history, the things he says are just nonsensical. They are frightening to me at times to know that this person represents me at the highest office in this country. So he essentially is telling us that Dharamlal, though being accused of such a heinous act, a number of acts, is still in power and in control. Further, I say, the fact that Ali said that Dharamlal is willing to support the party, and he's prepared to make such a statement to all Guyanese, that Dharamlal is saying he's willing to support the PPP. Ali has not reasoned as yet that the fact that Dharamlal would have said that points to the truth, that Dharamlal knows that, well, you supported me. You have me where I am. You did whatever you had to do to ensure that I am in this position, hence I will support you. Ali never said that he is of the view that Dharamlal should be excommunicated. Even that he couldn't say. But I want the viewers here and those listening via radio to please pay attention to the fact that the young lady who Irfan Ali said that he read exactly what all other Guyanese have read in the appeal to him. He said nothing about her today. Absolutely nothing about her last night, as a matter of fact. He said nothing. I repeat, he said absolutely nothing about a 16-year-old indigenous girl who said she's a poor indigenous girl. Irfan Ali should be made to resign. I don't know whoever he has to ask Barrett if he could resign, please, because this is a disgrace.
What about we have not been hearing much about the and I echo the very sentiments, all that you've just stated there. What about this guy, this so-called police, this commander, Apostle, that the information that we got is that he interfered with the investigation of this rape allegations?
In my view, this man before you, Kemrat Shifbaran, should be before the court as well, because he signed, allegedly, and based on what is displayed, I think Starbuck News, he said that he did admit to this statement being made in his presence. This man should be in jail because What was sought to be done based on what followed was for this individual to cause the young lady to be presented as a liar. Hence, by deduction, he was seeking, my reasoning tells me, to defend Dharmlal or to cause it to appear as though Dharmlal was innocent. What I must make mention of, though, is that when I read that statement that this Kemra Shivaran, superintendent of police, claimed that the girl wrote, I referred to what the girl had written before. And I said, can you imagine that Shivaran cannot even write, or whoever wrote that, like the girl? His language is atrocious. His sentence construction is that maybe of a second grader. I don't know how he made this position, and it's important for me to note. Guyana Police Force must ensure those who are in the commission that you don't promote people who can hardly write a sentence and reason, because he should have known that the quality of intelligence in that young lady, the manner in which she would have written those reports and made the appeal. His nonsensical sketch of a statement, that alone should land him in the lockup, because he's disgraced the force. And I'm saying with as much control as I can muster this time that this man should be the first to be in jail because of what he represents and who he represents. And to know that, for one, he refused, like Ali, apparently, to reason that how can you just present a statement in the absence of any report? And when did superintendents take statements in any station? I've been to station 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and I've never had a superintendent or commander say that he's taken a statement from me. They always instruct a lower rank. I don't even get to see them sometimes unless I make a request. I repeat that Kemraj Shivbaran, this man here, should be jailed. He should be tried in a court of law, and I know that he should be jailed if the system works right because of what he sought to do.
But we're not seeing that just as yet. Maybe the pressure has to up a bit, and to have folks even protest the police station where he is in Essequibo. But I would have to assume that we will get to that as well. What about the Minister of Social Services, Ms. Vindhya Prasad? Something about her office, something about her ministry, something about how she has handled this situation that has a lot of red flags hanging over it. Your take on how the Ministry of Social Services has handled this issue?
I believe that, and that's why I keep standing to say that Dharmlal's resignation is it itself warranted. The manner in which he resigned is disrespectful to us as Guyanese. But the likes of Vindhya Prasad, she should also be tried before a court of law, because any individual who is privy to what happened to this child or what the child reported and failed to get the police involved, they should be dealt with. And I must hasten to say that Vindhya Prasad, in her timing, I don't know if people realize that when I was standing in front of State House, I wasn't even in front of the gate. I was standing in the boulevard between the two Main Street and the other street. And most of you saw what happened. Vindhya Prasad that evening found the nerve to find a statement that she is against this behavior, and that should the child come forward and these things and report it, may they prepare to work along with the police. This is a child. You shouldn't have to wait until the child come forward. The child came forward in reference to making the complaint in the first place, writing this, leveling this accusation and saying that she wants help. That's enough forward movement for me, for you to act. But I must say that Vindhya Prasad thereafter, to this day, to this very moment, cannot report to us, as would be expected in any part of the world where there's any respect for people. The daily press conferences and so on, this was happening to the child, give us press updates and releases to say this is what's going on, and the girl is in custody, and for what reason? So that's another point, because I would like to know whether there's any attorney in Guyana who could say that this child may have been kidnapped by the state. Because for you to hold this child, claiming it's for her safety, you first must establish what are the threats against the girl. Is the girl a threat to herself? are her parents detrimental to her well-being? If that's the case, then the parents should be before the court at some point, should be charged for something. Is there any threat of Dharmlal having access to the child? If the answer is yes, then you are saying that in essence he's culpable in some way. Because if he's innocent, I don't know what he has to reach out to the child for and pester in any case. If you're saying that there are members of the PPP who may want to reach out to this girl and to interfere with the course of justice, then again you're sinking Dharmlal's boat. So Vindhya Prasad has yet to come forward to the Guyanese public and say that's what she's done with our child. This is a child of Guyana soil, according to that national song. This is a child of Guyana soil. This is an indigenous girl who should have been protected by the state. And here we're seeing now, suddenly, after I and others have complained, that the Child Care Protection Agency would be everywhere where this girl is. And I think Kemraj Ramjatan said that they even said he could not have access to this child when he sought to have conversations with her, being his client. And that in itself is failure on the part of India again, because Vindhya should be happy to know that there are attorneys of repute, or not, whatever, who prepared to help in having the child be represented and ensure that the Guyana Police Force would interview her, and if they have to have interactions with her, they perform in a manner that's lawful and just. So I'm saying that Vindhya Prasad should be one who resigns as well, and should be one who's made to answer before in a court of law. This is called dereliction of duty.
50 minutes after 9 o'clock, Apostle Nigel London with us this evening. The protest, we're seeing it's getting bigger, it's getting better, and dedicated patriotic Guyanese are on the ground like yourself, Simona Brooms, Lurley Nestor, and others. What's your take on how the protest is progressing at this time?
I'm heartened, and I'm grateful that I'm not one who really looks at numbers. I understand the value of it. But I'm heartened to know that individuals are beginning to understand more and more what this is about. And I'm heartened to know that individuals are responding, though it's taking some time for many more to understand or to act. They begin to respond in a manner that is healthy and wholesome. I believe that with the intensification of our protests, there will be further actions. The PPP would have confessed to me that they understand the power of protesting, and that they know that when Guyanese are out, it means we are displeased. And any leader should understand that. So I understand that there is cause for us to be more vigilant and also a bit more active. We must be vibrant in our efforts to ensure that justice is done. In the case of this girl and the 20th Madhya, I must mention them, the 19 girls and the one boy, because I have seen that the 14-year-old or 15-year-old child in the Madhya situation was presented to the court again today. She's remanded. Now, I can't say certain words in your program, but I want to understand how in the world can the Guyana Police Force, the DPP, the court system hold a 14-year-old child in the absence of a complete investigation. But Dharmlal is free to walk all over the place. Dharmlal walk into Big Dam and a few hours walk back out. But a 14-year-old child, 14 years old, who kept saying she never did it. Dharmlal never once denied this publicly to anybody that I'm aware of. But the girl is saying she never did this. And she's being remanded. And according to Ali Haq, she's going to be charged as an adult. But Dharmlal, against whom there are at least 4 complaints of sexual assault, is free. This is what angers me. And so I'm happy that people are beginning to see the Guyana we now live in and what has to be done about that Guyana. So the people are going to move this nation in a direction where the PPP gets a message. And with APNU AFC, I think they're beginning to get the message that you're going to come out from where you are and you're going to stand. However, I must say at this point that I have noticed that there are very few protests organized by and executed by the opposition. I don't know where the leader of the opposition is. And permit me to say this, please, on your broadcast. I don't know whether Valda Lawrence is still living in Guyana. I mean, she was a champion for women. I don't know where these people are. Van West Charles, well, he may be somewhere interacting, but I need to know what has become of the legal rights of people who voted for y'all? Where are you? So it seems as if there's a join the wagon approach here, where we would go out, we would stand in protest, and then others who think that they're so, I guess, right, they qualified, so they don't have to organize anything. They just show up and they present themselves, and they have a free pass, because that's how you do it. Not anymore. You're free to stand, but you're also free to show me that you're capable of doing what you've been elected to do.
Well said, Apostle Nigel London. Well said. They just show up, take a quick photograph, and they're gone, and they doctor it, put it on their page to lie to the people. We know who they are, and we will be calling their names. We are watching them. We're not afraid to call them out when the time is right. 54 minutes after. Let's get back to minutes ago. I didn't for a moment thought that you were attacking any religion at all. It's just that I was reading some comments, and I don't want folks to believe that we were. I wouldn't accuse you of that at all. You are my guest, and I oftentimes treat my guests with tremendous amount of respect. And I say there are times when I might not agree with you 100%, but I put that aside because a lot of times I agree with you, but you're out there, what you're doing, and the sacrifices that you are making on behalf of all of us, especially those of us who are not able to be there physically. You are representing a heck of a lot of people, and I got to salute you. I got to take my hats off to you for that.
I am grateful. Thank you, sir. And I must say, because you're one of few Guyanese, I can say, who deserve the right to do what you're doing, to sit where you sit. I don't see any reason for you to be back home in Guyana doing anything at this moment, because you have served us for years. I mean, you have committed and dedicated years of your life, and I know of no other who, because of political reasons, would have been held in solitary confinement for as many years as you would. And so you're one of the people I do not say, well, you should come here to stand and do anything, because you have shown me, and I followed you, and I'm younger than you are. So
you're close behind me. You're close.
I watched, and in horror, I should say, the things you've experienced, and to see that you're still here doing what you're doing, it encourages me to know that I'm certainly in good company, and I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Apostle Nigel London. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's why I like fighters when I see fighters, and I support fighters in whatever way I can when I see them, because I know what it's like being what I oftentimes coin the battlefield on the ground there, battling against an oppressive regime. I know what it's like. Apostle London, tomorrow, let's move forward. Tomorrow, it's supposed to be a big day. A big day because Blinken, U.S. Secretary of State Blinken, will be in Guyana. They were in Trinidad today. We see there that is to the left of the screen is the diplomat, the Deputy Secretary of State that's responsible for the Western Hemisphere. We have there Sarah Ann Lynch, U.S. Ambassador to Guyana. She is still there because the person who was appointed to replace her has not yet been confirmed by the Senate. And even though Sarah Ann Lynch, there was an outgoing farewell party for her, there was a farewell party, she is still there as the ambassador, the U.S. ambassador to Guyana, until Nicole, I think her first name is confirmed as the new ambassador. As of now, that person has not yet been confirmed. And so even if it takes 1 year for her to be confirmed, Sarah Ann Lynch will continue to be the U.S. ambassador in Guyana. This photograph was taken today in Trinidad. To the third on the screen there is U.S. Secretary of State Blinken, Anthony Blinken. He's expected to be in Guyana tomorrow with a team. You see Hakeem Jeffries there, holds a very powerful position there in the U.S. Congress, Congressman Hakeem Jeffries. And I'm told that he is not going to be accompanying the U.S. Secretary of State and the team to Guyana. That's what we were told. He's not going to be in Guyana. And I'm sure he would have already said to the U.S. Secretary of State why he is uncomfortable being in the company of the likes of Jack Day and Irfan and those guys. Apostle London, your take on U.S. Secretary of State Blinken's visit to Guyana tomorrow.
Thank you. This happens to be, within a 3-year period, the second time that the U.S. Secretary of State will have come here, Pompeo being the first, and now Blinken. And I must say that the way that Irfan Ali or Jagdio and others are behaving is as if Massa is coming tomorrow. I saw them doing so many things, the roads and these things that I thought would take forever to be done. And it's obvious that they're still controlled and they're still intimidated. They're still well aware as to how they happen to be existing in power, as they call it now. But the arrival of Blinken, because I understand and hope Guyanese can be clear about the surveillance and the satellite systems that are in place to ensure the security of these people, wherever we stand in this country tomorrow, wherever we stand, especially along the East Bank corridor and in Georgetown and so on, wherever we stand in protest, he'll be aware of it. They'll know very well what we're doing. And so tomorrow marks a very significant day because Blinken coming here just after Pompeo in reference to the time frame says a lot about what the U.S. is thinking about Guyana and where Guyana fits into their scope of interests. These people are not here because they love Guyanese. They're not here because they have great respect for Guyanese. They're not here because they care about Guyanese. They're here because their interests must be preserved and protected. And as a result of that, we must use the opportunity for Blinken and others to know that we are uncomfortable at this time with the way in which Irfan Ali and I dare say Bara Jagdeo are governing this country. We have to make it known to him and they'll get the message. I would like to think that those fearful, terrified, intimidated media house operatives would be out somewhere to tell the truth because it would be embarrassing to all of you if CNN or some other agency can carry protesters standing on the streets in Georgetown or wherever we're going to be, and you all can't do it yourselves. So just take note that if you want to be intimidated and scared, and you know that your advertising packages will be cut in reference to your money that you make, it would be a disgrace to you all for any foreign media house to carry these stories of protests in Guyana, and you don't. Because Blinken must be welcomed into this country with protests. He must be bid. He must have a bon voyage, bye-bye, with protesting. Because they must understand that we are well aware of why he's here. And I must applaud Hakeem Jeffries for not coming here because he must let Ali and others know that he's unprepared to shake the hand or to dine with or have lunch with anyone who's so oppressive and in the case of Dharmlal, so disrespectful to even females. So a point must be made. A point will be made, as a matter of fact, to Blinken into the USA. Because I don't care about any visa Guyana is good enough for me. I don't care who take, who buy, who sell, whatever it is. Blacklist me, whitelist me, all you want. These people represent neo-colonialists, a new form of colonialism whereby the Caucasian boss shows up here and Ali and others have to kiss his feet. I would kiss nothing, call anybody's feet. He must know that he's in our country and we understand what Exxon is doing to our country. We understand what Ali and Jagdi are doing to our country. And if he doesn't speak to that, then he will leave here knowing that he's unwelcomed by Guyanese. There's not any moment for me to celebrate. Who's Blinken? Who are these people for me to think that there's some lofty individuals? They're not qualified to talk to me about anything called diplomacy and decency based on what happened from March 2nd, as a matter of fact, to August 2nd. They are disqualified, and unless he comes to revoke or to reprove, which is to put to shame what Pompeo did, they can't talk to me. Mr. Benchop, I'm happy you allow me to share my views. You don't have to share them, but that's my view. I have no regard for these people because of their silence. With Mocha, they said nothing. With the Miller's War, they said nothing. With the Mahdi's situation, they are yet to talk. So don't show up here now thinking I have any regard for these people. So he will know where Guyanese stand and how we feel about this matter. I would expect, therefore, that Blinken would say something for us to know that he is unlike Sarah Ann Lynch, because she's given us a perfect example of what she's really about in reference to how she feels about Guyanese. Maybe he can come and change our minds.
Accompanying the U.S. Secretary of State will be Brian Nichols. Brian Nichols is the top diplomat for Western Hemisphere. And we are hoping by now that they should have lots and lots of information on what's happening in Guyana, the discrimination, the political persecution of so many people. And right across the country, things are not regular at all. We have an oppressive regime, a corrupt regime, a racist regime, and Guyana is said to be a mini apartheid state. I do hope that these people understand that, according to a source, Secretary of State Blinken will be having a private meeting with the leader of the opposition, and just the leader of the opposition, according to a well-placed source. And again, it was confirmed by another well-placed source that Aubrey Compton Norton, the leader of the opposition, will be having a one-on-one with the U.S. Secretary of State and possibly the ambassador and Secretary of State Brian Nichols, along with some other folks like Congressman Meeks. I don't know, but Meeks is going to be there.
Wow.
What should the leader of the opposition discuss at this meeting? And this is confirmed. This is no rumor that he will be having this one-on-one with Blinken. He will be having that one-on-one with Blinken. What should the leader of the opposition discuss with Blinken, U.S. Secretary of State?
Atop the agenda should be what Sarah Ann Lynch did to Guyana and continue to do to Guyana, while the U.S., many other representatives, apart from Hakeem Jeffries and so on, were quiet. That should be the first thing he speaks to, her conduct during the election, because...
One second. You said Jeffries was quiet?
No. I said, unlike what Jeffries would have done.
Got you.
No. Not him.
I got you.
Exactly.
I surrender.
No.
Continue, sir.
So Sarah Ann Lynch appears to be the nanny, the babysitter of her finale to some extent. And I expect Aubrey Norton to make it known that if Guyana is a signatory as well as the U.S. to the UN Convention of Treaties, the Vienna Convention of Treaties, Sarah Ann Lynch should not even be in Guyana, because she interfered with the internal affairs of this country and continues to do so. I don't expect Norton to do that. Further, I expect him to speak to the fact that Quindon Bacchus, or in Boston, just to name a few, would have been slaughtered, and we are yet to have justice served for these men. Norton should speak to the fact that commissions were not established while monies were being spent wildly in this country. The PPP rushed bills through Parliament when they talk about democracy, like the Natural Resource Fund Act. They are supposed to be matters raised by Aubrey Norton. And most importantly, the man in which Ali has just thrown around himself, appointing, for example, commissions of inquiry to deal with the elections situation, but refused Anil Nandalal and Jagdeo for us to have the matter heard in our local courts. These are things that Blinken should be made aware of. And finally, I should say that what happened in Mahdia should certainly be raised with this man. And then Dharmlal situation should be the icing on the cake. But knowing Mr. Norton, I recall when he met with Sarah Ann Lynch, before he went in there, he was ready to say so many things. And when he left, to this day, I have not heard him sit before the nation to say exactly what was said to him that caused him to become the nicest church boy he now is in Guyana.
All right, 8 minutes after 10 o'clock, Apostle Nigel London with us. Always a pleasure to have Mr. London with us here. He's no stranger. He's a family here to all of us. Ben Shop Radio, 107.1 FM. Quickly before we go, Apostle London, your take on this commission of inquiry into the 20 deaths of those young schoolboy and girls. We have heard from Irfan Ali that retired Brigadier General Joe Singh will be the chairman of that commission of inquiry. Do you have any confidence in Joe Singh?
No, I don't. But the mere fact that Joe Singh had so many letters to write and so much to say during the election fiasco, as it's called, and thereafter the same person was no longer, according to him, fit and proper, apparently, to say anything regarding the atrocities in this country. Joe Singh, first of all, why would he be chosen to lead a commission of inquiry into the Mahdi situation when, as far as I'm aware, before we even get to that, Robeson Ben has not been made to even tell us anything as a people, because he should be fired and played before the court as well, based on what I know to be UNICEF reports and so on. When they inspected dormitories across the country, they spoke to the dangers and the threats that our children face. And Ben is still there. So before we get to what Joe Singh is supposed to do, how yet again can Irfan Ali not deal with people who are in his cabinet for failing to protect our children? In this case, 20 of our children perished. Dharam Lal, let's not forget, was the Minister of Local Government and Regional Development. Therefore, anything that was done to the dormitory comes under his purview because the region has funding and so on. So Dharam Lal was never ever brought to the floor to be dealt with either. Priya said that she's responsible for our children. Priya Manikchan said that she's responsible for all of our children and she has this great interest in our children. Priya was in Madhya, apparently the first responder. Priya, walking on the rubble. Nobody investigated anything. And there you have an inspector from the fire service there, allowing this nonsense. How do you have people walking in a place where there's no investigation that's been completed? So these people have not been dealt with, but now, 1 month later, you're ready for commission of inquiry. And who do you call? Joe Singh, who has, by his behavior, demonstrated to us that he is in favor of the PPP Civic. Now, anyone who's displayed to us that they want to have a particular group lead this country by their public expressions and their writing should not be involved in anything called commission of inquiry. That's my view. Because if he has shown his hand that he is inclined to be accepting of and in favor of this regime, then what will you do in reference to investigations here?
Well said, Apostle Nigel London. I know a lot of you guys want to go to bed and sleep on a lot of things that Nigel Nyambi London has said this evening, because the system is obviously not working. And I echo the very sentiments of Mr. London that the wrong deal is Joe Singh. He is not the person for that. This is another farce of a commission of inquiry, and he is just going to tailor this inquiry to suit the agenda of the PPP, while Joe Singh, will probably make over $100 million for that. $100 million for that, if you know what I mean. And now let's get straight to my final question here to Apostle London. We're going to assume that the U.S. Secretary of State is, or maybe some of his folks are watching. And here's an opportunity for them to write things down as to how Guyanese are really feeling about the PPPC and the injustices that lots of Guyanese are experiencing at the hands of Irfan Ali, Jack Dew, and those other goons, people who have been persecuted, those who continue to be persecuted, 3+ years, no conclusion of the charges, the frivolous political charges against Roxanne Myers, Lowenfield, Mingo, Trevor Ben, and lots of others. Nothing at all. They are targeting individuals as a result of their political affiliation and as a result of their ethnicity, mainly persons of African descent. I want you to take as much time as you have available to talk directly to Mr. Blinken and his team on behalf of all Guyanese. Go right ahead, sir.
What a distinct honor. Thank you very much. And hopefully that which I say would be taken as the pulse of what they call the common man here in Guyana. To Mr. Blinken, I say that you have an opportunity to put your feet, to plant your feet on the soil of a nation that is being raped by its very own leaders. You have the opportunity to plant your feet in a situation or in a nation, in a land that is excessively wealthy in terms of resources, but doggedly poor in terms of leadership. We have got individuals in this land who have kowtowed, have bowed to the likes of Sarah Ann Lynch, to the detriment of our very own people. They refuse to stand for what is truly Guyanese and in the best interest of Guyanese. And they've accepted, apparently, instructions and directives that are hurting us as a people. You, therefore, have responsibility to cause us to have a modicum of confidence in the US's interest in this nation. And it should not be economic only. The interest in us as a people. There are murders of citizens committed at the hand of the Ghana Police Force. A little boy was shot on the East Coast by a pellet gun, while going home from school with his mother. The Ghana Police Force did not even apologize for that. We have got so many atrocities being committed by this regime. And if you are to arrive here and in any way demonstrate to us that you are in support of what is called the PPP Civic, and that you are in support of an irresponsible and weak opposition, we have a right to say that you're no different from Sarah Ann Lynch. And that would not be complimentary, of course. So we expect there to be action following your arrival. Hopefully, the action will be done to the relief, or to bring relief to us as Guyanese people, because we're suffering enough at the hand of maybe a Kim Jong-un wannabe. We have to stop this. I would expect, hopefully, that the indigenous community, the blood that runs through my veins, we would be made to be assured in our hearts that what happened to the 20 children in Madhya and this one girl who brought a complaint against a minister in government, that you would say to someone, this would not end the way that the PPP Civic is presenting it to us. I don't know the extent to which your diplomacy will limit your making such statements, but I'm certain that those on your team will be able to present your sentiments in a manner that brings us relief and brings the PPP terror. Thank you. We must have justice. Your mic is muted.
Thank you so much. For some of them who read lips, I was just saying thank you so much for speaking on behalf of most Guyanese and addressing directly U.S. Secretary of State Blinken, who will do what is right, not only in the best interest of Americans, because that is what he's going there for, but also in the interest of justice and democracy and so forth, and that persons who are being persecuted and discriminated against in Guyana, living under the PPP regime is like living on the or captivity, and it's not a good thing at all. And we're hoping that not only the U.S. Secretary of State, but also his team except Meeks. People have absolutely no confidence in Meeks at all. But the Deputy U.S. Secretary of State for Western Hemisphere, that's Ambassador Brian Nichols, will also look into the many serious allegations and discrimination leveled against the PPPC regime. But for now, my name is Mark Benchop, and again, unless Apostle Nigel London has anything final which he wishes to say this evening, feel free to take that time out to say whatever it is. I know you guys have a busy schedule tomorrow. But go right ahead, sir.
Yeah, tomorrow, starting about 10:30 in the morning, we'll be at Square of the Revolution. That's where it all begins. Protect our indigenous girls. Tomorrow we'll be standing there, and we have a lot of time on our hands. If you're in the East Bank quarter, as I said, from Sue's Dyke Junction, where the Sue's Dyke Lane and Highway begins, stand right there. We'll be certainly making our presence felt across this land. If you're in any other part of the country, come out of your yards, come gather in groups and make it known that we want a better land in which we live. Actually want a new Guyana, a different Guyana, as a matter of fact, different. This one isn't working too well. We want something that's different. So let's be out tomorrow in our numbers, making a statement and taking our position. We will be heard, we must be heard, and justice must be served for our children.
Well said, Apostle London. And let me just say to all of our listeners that we will carry it live right here on 107.1 FM. Anything to fight against injustices in Guyana or wherever, but more so our concentration is in Guyana. We are with you. Those are brothers and sisters who are on the ground. And you don't have to remind me. Gas is on 107.1 FM to you.
I'm so grateful.
A load of people. Also, we want to ensure that we get some water. So we will be providing compliments of 107.1 FM, a couple of cases of bottled water for you guys. Keep the struggle up. And thank you for what you guys do there on the ground on behalf of all of us, including those many folks who are on the ground and just don't do anything. You guys represent everyone. Thank you, Apostle London.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. All right, Apostle Nigel London there for you guys. It's 21 minutes after 10 o'clock. My name is Mark Benchop, and I say this, that I know what it's like to be on the ground in a struggle. And sometimes when you look for that support, you don't get it. Some of us don't really ask, but you don't get it. You just got to pick it up and keep going. Nigel London and others are out there, including Simona Bruns, including Lurleen Nestor, and others are out there almost every single day. I know what it's like. I do know what it's like. And they're out there because they're genuine about the struggle. They're not out there to snap a quick photograph and table it and tailor it to make it appear as though they're the only one in a struggle. They're not. In this struggle, you cannot be selfish. You cannot be silly in order to score cheap political points. We will call those who are hungry for power. We will call them out. And the funny thing is, those few who are hungry for power aren't really for the people. They're not really for justice. They are for themselves. We will be calling them out one by one. But for now, the focus is to ensure that the U.S. Secretary of State understands that people are upset in Guyana. People are upset in Guyana. And people want justice. They want justice in Guyana. And His Excellency, the U.S. Secretary of State, will get that message in a very nice and a very peaceful way, that things are not hunky-dory in that country at all. We know that the U.S. Secretary is there to represent the interest of America, and that is mainly his reason for visiting. But if he can find, as Nigel London did say, the apostle, if he can find some time out to address some of these serious human rights infractions, human right violations in Guyana. We will appreciate that coming from Anthony Blinken, the U.S. Secretary of State, that we're looking forward to have these things addressed. All right, for now, before we go, we noticed that the Queen's PNCR Group presents an annual fundraising event that is July 8th, this Saturday. It's $25. $25. You can contact some folks, Derek Arjun, Carl, Paula, Randy, and those numbers are there. And it's good to see because I know the PNCR, they have their group and so forth. I'll touch on that some other time, but I'll give this Queen's PNCR group a big plug. Go out and support the event this Saturday in Brooklyn. But for now, my name is Mark Benchap, 10:30 right here. I hope Wayne Caesar has some time tomorrow, as well as attorney at law Shellon Washington will have some time tomorrow morning. I see what you're doing there, Anand Prasad. Indeed, there's a big jug of water, right? A big barrel of water. All right, but for now, thank you all. Thank you all so much. God bless you, and I will be back tomorrow morning. Let's, in whatever way you can, if you can provide some water for folks who are protesting, you should do that. Whatever it is that you can do, we do our bit. We don't broadcast everything that we do, but I just thought that I let you guys know this because I feel it for London and others, yes, but mainly London, traveling all the way from Linden, sometimes 2, 3, 4 times a week. It's not easy. And I see that he's passionate about what he's doing. We got to respect and salute people like Nigel London and Simona Brooms and Lurley Nestor and those folks. And we see others are coming out, some members of parliament. They're passionate. They're in the rain. They don't go and duck in a car and hide behind somewhere and wait until it dry and then come and take a little photo and go on their way. They don't. And kudos to those folks, Annette Ferguson and them, Ganesh Mahipal. They're out there. They are out there. Shara Duncan, they are out there. They are. Notice I don't mention anybody who pops in just for the photo and the video and they go on their way. I don't have respect for those sort of wannabe politicians. I don't. Wannabe leaders. I don't. But for now, my name is Mark Benchap. Let me stop with my shades, right? I should open a shades factory. But the time will come when I'll start lashing those individuals publicly. You guys know I don't hold back on those sort of things. You know, Mr. Wayne Caesar is saying that he can help through the foundation. We appreciate that, Wayne Caesar. We appreciate that. Wayne is always on here. Wayne is always willing to help. And in whatever way we help as well, not just through the foundation, but 107.1 FM. And those who are able to uplift thousands upon thousands of Pampers for, adult Pampers, diapers. You guys are welcome. Yesterday we had like about a couple of hundred of those Pampers delivered to Uncle Eddie's home. We are still giving it to some organizations. I know some individuals have been texting me about that. They have been texting me about that. And so I am unable to get back to them because that distribution is over with. We just have a few package off for some people, a couple of hundred for the people in Linden, of which we will hand over to Apostle Nigel London to distribute to folks out in Linden as well. So we try our best. And then we have a couple of hundred that will be handed over to Pastor Sugrim for Corriverton. So we try our best indeed. We try our best. Thank you, Wayne Caesar, as well. And all of you, thank you all so much. Tomorrow, Shondell Griffith is saying that they will be at coffee about 8 o'clock. Whatever time they're at coffee, we are going to broadcast it right here on 107.1 FM. The station, and I hope Blinken, Secretary of State Blinken, is probably watching. You never know, that this is a station that the corrupt PPP regime starve, along with along with Village Voice and others, starve them with ads, starve them by not giving any taxpayers' monies in ads. And so we survive. We are going to survive. We will continue to survive because we are a village. We are a village. We are a village. God bless you all. See y'all in the morning. Somebody's asking that, and when I say somebody, sorry, Desiree Simon, sorry, is asking, and Desiree is a frequent contributor, always here with comments or whatever. She's always willing and ready. There are others who are on the program as well to be part of a good cause in Guyana. And so I salute all of you who are part of that good cause. Keith Beresford and others, we salute you guys, and Desiree Simons and others. Desiree's asking for me to put up my Zelle. I don't oftentimes put that up because sometimes I don't feel that I should, because people should know that, hey, whenever you can drop us something, you drop us something. And the Zelle information that Ms. Simons is asking for, if you want to Zelle something for the station, because we do make a lot of donations to worthy cause and for the struggle. We do that. The Zelle information and my number, that is 917-714-1082. That's the Zelle information Ms. Simons is asking. Zelle information is 917-714-1082. 917-714-1082. And those of you who have Cash App, it's Mark with a $sign, Mark Benchop FM. Mark Benchop FM. All right, so that's it. Thanks a lot, Ms. Simon, though, for asking for that information. Tomorrow, we will carry the broadcast live starting from whatever time they're ready to go. We are ready to go. That's it. And hopefully, Mr. Caesar is ready to rock and roll with us tomorrow morning as well. Some folks have been asking about J.R. Crawford, and I don't want to have you guys feel as though you have been ignored. Mr. Crawford is not on for the past couple of weeks. Crawford and I we go back over 40-something years of friendship. And so we will, while he calmed down, we still are friends, but let him calm down, let him cool down. And then this is a station, and especially for long friendship. And that's just who I am. There's no animosity, but he's probably still vexed that I give Aubrey Norton a passing grade. He's probably still vexed. So let him cool down. Even if it takes him a year, 2 years, 3 years, let him cool down. He's no stranger to us here. He's not an enemy to us. But let him cool down a bit. Good evening to JR if he's watching. Let him cool down. Let him cool down. Politics, huh? Anyways, I've got to go. God bless you guys. Until tomorrow morning, we will carry whatever protest live right here on 107.1 FM. Go out and support, for those of you in Brooklyn, support our lawyer, our in-house lawyer, Shellon Washington. This is her ad, and I am Mark Benchow. See you guys. Bye-bye. Have a good night, and God bless you.
Hello, this is attorney Shellon Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
with another one, straight up, blackness I am. Aye. Who tell the truth? Margaret stop. Defend the ghetto youth. Margaret stop. Registration is the fruit. Margaret stop. Straight up from the root. Margaret stop. Who tell the truth? Margaret stop. Defend the ghetto youth. Margaret stop. Registration is the fruit. Margaret stop. Straight up from the root. Margaret stop. I do it for the love. Him not do it for no money. Straight up. Him attack. Educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up and SCOP stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. It's definitely the don't contact, the trouble can walk. Who tell the truth? Margaret stop. Defend the ghetto youth. Margaret stop. Registration is the truth. Margaret stop. Straight up from the root.
Hello, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you, so call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.